What's going on, everybody? This is Dale from Upstate Bets and DFS. I'm here with my partner Riaz, bringing you guys this 9 game slate here on Friday. So, a lot of good games tonight. Last night was just a horrible night for DFS. Literally just a blowout game in the 2 games where we targeted the Stars. The Spurs game, they came around for us late, and then the game in the middle of that between the Grizzlies and the Lakers was just a bad game in general. So let's get back at it today. We got some good games, some guys that we usually target. So like some of these Charlotte guys and some of these other guys. Unfortunately, our Magic team isn't on here. We just love targeting these Magic guys, but they're not on here tonight. But either way, I think we have some solid lines. If this is your first time joining us on a Prize Picks video, you can sign up using promo code Upstate. That'll give you a free deposit match up to $100. So if you put in 100, you get $100 back to play with. If you never played Prize Picks before, it's a super simplified daily fantasy sports website where you can mix and match sports. Take De'Aaron Fox, for example. You can take the over or the under on his points. If you click on here, you get his averages for the last 5. You get his over-under. So you can take him there and you can pair him up with another guy maybe in the NFL because you can mix and match sports. You can pair him up with Miles Bridges. You can 5x your money, 10x your money. An awesome way to play. Also, we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. So I think we're at like 865 right now, 866 as I'm speaking. So if you guys can hit that subscribe button, if we can hit this before the end of the year, that would be amazing. So thank you guys. Let's get right into this video. We got a couple guys here we like, and Riaz is going to start us off.
The first guy I'm really looking at is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. We saw him play the Lakers before early on in the season. It was the second game, and he exploded. I mean, he had 28 points against the Lakers, and we know the Lakers can't guard guards for some reason. They have a very tough time. I don't know if it's Westbrook, if it's just they're no help defense, and but these point guards are just shredding the Lakers. And I like his line here sitting at 21 and a half. He's averaging 22 on the season. And we've kind of seen him start to catch fire as of late. I mean, 26, 30, 39, 22 in his last 4. And not the toughest matchups, but he doesn't have a tough one tonight. We've seen his averages start to get a little bit better, shooting 40% from the field, almost 30% from 3, which is really nice to see. He hasn't been making as many as we would have liked, but he's getting to the line. I mean, 12 for 12 last game, 12 for 15, and 14 from 16 from the line in the last 3. So the fact that he's getting those free points at the line is really awesome to see. So don't mind Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at 21 and a half taking the over.
No doubt. We like Shea a lot here because of volume as well. He puts up a ton of shots and he plays the most minutes on the team too, him and Dort. So he's going to get an extreme amount of run. The last time he went and played the Lakers, they won that game by 3. Not only that, he played almost 40 minutes, put up 28 points. Also on really good shooting percentage, over 50% from the field, 4 for 7 from deep. If we can see that same efficiency, I think this is going to be an easy opportunity for us to hit it over here on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's in a really good spot. Like you said, Lakers cannot defend point guards for some reason this year, and Shai's just been a guy that's been pretty consistent for us, and as of late, it's been going off. So really like him in this spot. We'll jump over to rebounds, man. Well, actually, let's hop over to points here again. And I just want to pick your brain here about some of these Charlotte guys, whether you think who you think is kind of the best option here. I know there's going to be a lot of people thinking about, Oubre here because the volume of shots. Hayward was the guy that stood out the most last game, but Bridges is also a sneaky play. For me personally, I think I'm still on Oubre here. I know that was a sweat last game when he played the 76ers, and he just puts up the most amount of shots, really. And in terms of a three-point shooter, he's just going to shoot probably upwards of 10, 11 three-pointers. I really like his opportunity to hit the over here between all these, Hornets guys.
Yeah, I mean, we like you said, Gordon Hayward went off, had 31 points last game, which was really nice to see against Philly. But I got news: PJ Washington is doubtful with an illness, so that really opens up the floor for all 3 of these guys. I don't really mind any of them. I wish we could get at least one of them under 20, but like you said, Oubre, the volume, just shooting the ball 20 times a game is ridiculous, and I don't mind Oubre. I don't mind Gordon Hayward after that really nice performance last game, and I don't know if I'm going to get there with Bridges. 20 and a half just seems a lot. That's kind of his season average, and like we touched on before, he really kind of needs Lamelo and Rozier out there to kind of help him out a little bit. So I don't mind Oubre or Gordon Hayward. And did you want to touch on a little sleeper pick we talked about before?
Yeah, so I'm gonna go all the way down here. This guy's been quietly really sound so far this season. They got him on like a two-way contract here for the Houston Rockets. Houston Rockets on a seven-game winning streak here. They've beat up on some, average teams, but they also beat the Nets. They came out and they also beat the Bulls and the Hornets. Garrison Matthews here, he's sitting at 11.5. Definitely a line I can see shifting, just simply because of the game log watchers, people that might be looking at this and saying, oh well, he's averaging 16.5 over his last five. Let's hammer this. So no doubt he's in a really good spot tonight. I think this line's gonna shift. So if you can get on this early, that would be really good. Just the minutes, man. So he's playing a really good amount of minutes, and they've been winning when he's been out there. He was defending Harden. They've been calling him something about something Larry Bird Matthews or Goat. They I don't know. They're Chan MVP to him in the game against Brooklyn. He's one of the fan favorites out there in Houston, especially as of late. They've been playing really well, man. He's been shooting the ball well from deep and putting up like 10, 11 3-pointers. Just another guy based off of volume and minutes here at 11.5. I think this is an easy guy to punch in for the over.
Without a doubt. And I mean, he's shooting very well from three, 40% from three. Before he went on this streak of playing over 25 minutes, he played 3 games before that where he was only getting 15, 20 minutes and was still kind of producing that. I mean, 8 points, 7 points, 7 points. So even if he does get not the same run, but by all means, he's gonna get the run with them being on this winning streak and just how well he's been playing. So definitely, this 11.5 is too low, and he's just been crushing.
Yeah, I'm gonna punch him in here for the over on our list so far. We're gonna jump over to rebounds here. Is there a guy that you really like?
Yeah, that's Christian Wood. He's sitting at 10.5, going against the Milwaukee Bucks. Um, we've seen so many games this year where he just grabs 14, even games of 21. He's been hit or miss, but this matchup is just way too good. Um, the Bucks just really struggle getting rebounds. We know Brooke Lopez is still out, so they got Bobby Portis playing, and they even have DeMarcus Cousins coming off the bench. But I just see no problem here for Christian Wood. He just crashes the boards on just another level. We know his scoring output is pretty good, but he really makes his living off getting 15, 20 boards a game and just really thriving in that aspect. They really need him, especially in this winning streak that they have going on. He's been grabbing a ton of boards. 10.5 just seems way too low for this matchup. But not only that, there's really nobody else on this Houston team that's big enough to really get down in the boards and kind of compete with this Milwaukee Bucks team that does play bigger at times. So like Christian Wood here over 10.5.
Yeah, Wood's a guy that can smash really at any moment. I think once they started moving Christian Wood to the center spot at his true position and put Daniel Tice to the bench, we just started seeing Wood flourish a little bit. This could be an opportunity for Houston to, get Christian Wood's value up, play him 35, 40 minutes, and maybe flip him. I know he's a little bit older. He's like 26, 27. That could be an asset for them to flip and get a little bit younger while his trade value is still well. So I'm kind of playing that narrative as well, man. So I think Wood here can see upwards of 35, 36 minutes tonight, maybe even more. Houston's been hot. Maybe they can keep it close with Milwaukee tonight. Giannis is questionable too. Well, they actually have him listed as probable. He's got like a right quad contusion. But who knows? He could sit here. I mean, they're on the road in Houston. This is a spot where he could sit, and Christian Wood has even a better opportunity to go out there and grab a ton of rebounds. So obviously they're missing Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green as well. But Wood should get a solid amount of run, and I like him in the spot over 10.5.
Without a doubt. And there's one other guy that I kind of want to highlight. I'm not sure if I'm completely on him, but I love his line, and that's DeAndre Ayton. We've seen his line go from 11, 11.5, 11, 12, and he's got a nice matchup here against Boston. His line's sitting at 10.5. Averaging 11 boards a game, and we've seen the output just like Christian Wood, where he's getting 21, 17, 14 game in game out. Not a bad game for him, honestly. He's still getting that usage uptick with Booker still being out, and his rebounds they haven't been great the past two games. 6 and 9 versus Golden State, where I thought he would have grabbed a bunch of boards, and then even against the Spurs, I would have thought he could have grabbed 11, 12 there. But there's just too much upside for Ayton on the boards that this 10 and a half is very intriguing to me.
No doubt, it's definitely one that you can definitely take a look at. We know that his ceiling is upwards of 20 rebounds. Haven't seen it much this season. We've seen it once really early in the season. Also 17. He had 17 rebounds going against Dallas early on too in November. So he's in a spot really that you could look at. Boston, they have like a weird front court rotation between Big Al, Robert Williams, Grant Williams in there. Aiden's a guy that can be really consistent, like you said, averaging 11 on the season. So he's a guy that definitely could look at in like a flex play option for sure. We're going to jump over to assists. Kind of a weird pick here we're on. But he's been hitting it quite a bit. He's hit 5 out of the last 7. And that's going to be Pascal Siakam. He's at 3.5 here, going against the Knicks. Should be a favorable matchup. Him and Randall are kind of going to be going at it. Just a lot of guys that can score on this Toronto team on the outside. So I don't mind this pick at all. It's just one of those ones where we don't really take front court players that much in assists, but Siakam's a guy that gets a ton of run and a ton of usage. So he's in a spot pretty much every night to get this. And we've seen the ceiling before with 7, 8 assists. One of them coming against Memphis a couple games ago. So I don't mind Siakam here at 3.5.
Siakam's in a great spot here. He's kind of underrated in the assist kind of aspect of the game, averaging almost 4. And I think Scotty Barnes really allows him to really step out, kind of run the show. We've seen Pascal really bring the ball up the court, kind of as like a point guard role. Some games, kind of just feeding off Van Vliet, kind of letting him open up his shot. So, ton of playmakers for this Toronto team between Barnes, Gary Trent Jr., Van Vliet. There's a ton of guys that can knock down shots for him, and we've seen, like you said, he's got that upside where he can get 7, 6, 8 assists a game, which is pretty incredible for Pascal. So 3.5 just seems a little low to me, and he's gotten there a handful of times this year, so it's a very promising line.
Yeah, and especially in a spot where him and Randall, like I said, they can be going at it. Pascal can be looking to dish the rock a little bit more. Trent can hit the ball from deep. Van Fleet, we know what he can do from deep as well. So it should be a pretty good game here. I like the spot for him, like I said. Anyone else here in assists, or do you want to hop over to 3-pointers?
There's a couple guys that I'm kind of looking at. Chris Paul always seems to get there, but Pascal's really the only guy that I really like in the assists here.
How about for 3-pointers? I know this is a category that we've been a little bit inconsistent on so far this year. I mean, usually when we make the videos, the board's a little bit shallow. I know we were talking about Garrison Matthews. He's a guy that's shooting the ball a lot from deep. He's at 2.5, but I prefer his points rather than his 3-pointers. But definitely a guy you could look at. And then we usually target volume guys. So who are you liking here?
I like Cade Cunningham over two. We've seen him get there 4 out of the last 5. Unfortunately, he didn't get there against Washington, but he's just been scoring the ball very well this year, and especially as of late, getting almost over 20 points in the last 4. We knew he was going to be a good player. He was dealing with injuries early on in the season. We saw his scoring output when he was in college for Oklahoma State. We know he's a great player, and to see him knocking down threes at the rate that he has, I mean, 2 games ago he went 6 for 11, and then 3 for 5, 5 for 7. So I don't think getting over 2 should be a problem. I think there's going to be a lot of points in this Detroit New Orleans game, so I can see him making 3 or 4 easy tonight, getting 2, maybe 3, covering before the second half even starts. He's just been just the volume. We love volume. That's like the key here for Prize Picks. If you can get a guy shooting 8, 9 threes a game and his line's sitting at 1.5, 2, it's almost hard to fade him, especially shooting the way that he has. I mean, his three percentage isn't great, 30%, but as of late, it's been incredible.
Yeah, I mean, 4 3-pointers last game kind of scares me a little bit, and it could scare some people off. Maybe why the line's sitting at 2 here. But we've seen some games really when he's shot over 10. So I don't mind this pick at all, really, and especially at the fact that it's not at 2.5. So you kind of do get the, you know, kind of do get the push here if it only hits two. But like you said, a nice matchup against going against New Orleans here. I think that this is a spot where he definitely, can be, you know, can hit a bunch of 3 pointers and take a bunch of them. So Trent Jr. is a guy that I'm kind of like looking at too. He's kind of a guy that, takes a ton of them as well. But he's game in, game out. Sometimes he hits one, sometimes he hits five. So it's kind of weird for Gary Trent Jr. But if we're taking Siakam assists, he's kind of a guy that you can monitor too. Is there anyone else that you wanted to talk about, or do you want to go to fantasy score?
I mean, I don't mind Sabonis just to make one. I really do like taking people at a half, especially like Sabonis, who has that ceiling where he can knock down two threes in a game, and he definitely shoots them. I mean, he's definitely not scared to pop out from deep and shoot them. So don't mind that a half for Sabonis.
No, I know where you're coming from with Sabonis too. I mean, Indiana's another team too that's like kind of just in that weird mix. Like you don't know if they should like rebuild or retool. I know some of these guys are on the trade block, so maybe a lot of these guys are just gonna start giving them free reins, just start chucking. Sabonis might just start chucking threes. Um, maybe they're trying to get their way out of Indiana. We'll kind of see what's going on with them. They're kind of like middle of the pack team in the Eastern Conference. We'll go over to fantasy score, man, and I think there's an under that we're going to be on here. That's De'Aaron Fox. So this is a decent matchup going against Charlotte, no doubt. But we saw that game against Orlando, super high scoring game. He did score a lot of points, but the fact is, as a point guard, that's pretty much all he does, really. I mean, he doesn't really get any of the other stats, especially in that game against Orlando. I think he ended up with just no assist on that game. Oh yeah, he ended up coming with one assist late. But he's had games where he's just one assist, two assists. So he's not giving you that that other you know what I'm saying, the other stats like rebounds, assists, steals that most other point guards in the league would give you. So if he's having a bad scoring night, he's most likely going to have a bad fantasy score night.
Yeah, I mean, I really like this under at 41 and a half. The line is just way too high for Fox. I mean, he's a great player. He has an awesome matchup against Charlotte, but like you touched on, he's averaging 20 points a game, which is really good, but only 3 rebounds, 5 assists. It's just not great. And really those averages for his rebounds and assists are kind of based on games where he's had 9 assists, 6 assists, but a lot of them are under two, under three assists and rebounds every other game. So 41 is a lot for him to get here. Even if he does go out and score 30 points, he's just not going to have the other stuff that you really need in fantasy score. And not only that, he's really only averaging around 35 fantasy score so far this season. There has been glimpses where he has scored 30 points, 10 assists, and whatever to get over here. But I think the way to beat Charlotte is to get a nice big man down low and just really having him work on this team. There's too many good guards on this team, and De'Aaron Fox is just not going to get there tonight.
I could see a lot of guys being on this pick for the over just as well as with LaMelo being out, Rozier being out. But I mean, even as defenders, like it doesn't really scare me here. I think De'Aaron Fox. I like the under here for sure on De'Aaron Fox. I've taken him on the under a couple times this season, and it's done well for me. So I think that'll be it for us really here. Is there anyone else that you wanted to target?
No, I'm good. I just want to say I appreciate all the likes you guys been dropping on the videos. It's been absolutely unreal. The Discord has been amazing. So if you haven't joined the Discord, I would definitely get in there. Tons of people, like we said, just dropping pics, sharing their knowledge. It's been unreal. And I know Dale always says it, but I haven't said it. I appreciate the support. This is kind of a dream come true. Just hopping on and making videos. So this is kind of awesome.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like you talked about the Discord, a lot of guys with the same interest, all like NBA gurus over there. Everyone wants to talk NBA. We talk some NFL too. So people are chasing late games. So if you didn't do well in the early games, people are talking about late games. People are up till like 1, 2, 3 in the morning over there talking about picks. So a lot of great guys over there. It's been awesome. So hop in that if you haven't. Yeah, that the link will be in the description. We're gonna round the video out with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over 21.5, Garrison Matthews over 11.5, Wood over 10.5, Pascal Siakam over 3.5 assists, Cade Cunningham over 2 3. threes, and De'Aaron Fox under 41 fantasy score. Please drop a like on the video if you haven't yet. Let's get this video up to 40 likes today, and let's smash this Friday slate. We'll see you tomorrow for NBA and Sunday for NFL. Peace.